out. No one shall say we didn't hold out 15 minutes. He fired. He was cleansed. He was all-powerful. He was free.
Here is the news, read by Richard Wessel. Paris has been liberated. A communique just received from General Koenig announces that it has been liberated by French forces of the interior.
We didn't want to see the French, you see, because the French, they came by the south. We wanted to see the English and the Americans, and they came along the Seine, so we went Place de la Concorde. And it was wonderful, really wonderful, to see them, to see the tanks, and we hated tanks and we hated guns, but to see them coming along the Seine and saying hello, only hello, you see, hearing that language that wasn't French anymore. It was beautiful. Everything was going to change. We were young, we were hopeful, we were hungry and ambitious. Geography wasn't the same, history wasn't the same, French wasn't the same, philosophy wasn't the same. The school had to be completely changed. It could be changed because we had learned our lesson. So Sartre became our chief. He didn't want to. He just wrote because he thought it was true.
With the liberation came freedom of the press, and Sartre set about using it to build a new society.
Sartre ne dit pas « il faut s'engager ». Soyez engagés. Il dit « vous êtes engagés, même quand vous ne le savez pas ». Vous avez des positions sociales, vous ne la connaissez pas. Vous ne vous en rendez pas compte. Donc, sa morale à lui, c'était « prenez conscience de votre situation ».
He started a magazine called Les Temps Modernes, which he hoped would help to drive social change.
It was formidably important, not only because of the number of people who contributed to it, and because Sartre was the director, though the woman who really got things together and read the articles was Simone de Beauvoir. But here was a review that was going to take everything into account: politics, the life of ordinary people, literature, music, but the accent was on commitment.
Sartre really was born out of 3 weeks. His fame was made during 3 weeks of the month of September 1945, where he really appeared like the writer on the scene. He gave a conference called Existentialism is a Humanism. He published his novel, The Chemin de la Liberté, Roads to Freedom. He gave out the first issue of his monthly magazine, Les Temps Modernes. And then his play, Huis Clos, No Exit, had been performed for many months then.
Sartre's newfound status as France's most prominent writer was held by his very accessible lifestyle in and around the cafes and bars of Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Here was a new kind of very public intellectual, who even seemed to write his books in between sipping cups of coffee and chatting to friends.
Au Flore, il y avait, elle existe toujours, une salle au premier étage. Maintenant, il y a des gens qui viennent là tranquillement. Mais enfin, ils viennent plutôt pour lire. Si vous veniez un matin à 10h, vous apercevez Sartre, Le Castor, Bost, Scipion, qui chacun était à une table et écrivait, grattait. De temps en temps parlaient entre eux, bien sûr. Mais c'était une salle d'études, comme une classe.
The people around them, they all lived in the same hotel. It was like living in family, near one to the other, and not being in possession of things.
He owned nothing. No flat, no car. He even threw away all his books one day.
He was interviewed by people in cafes and so on. People would ask him, but what is existentialism? And he would say, existentialism? I do not know what that is. My philosophy is a philosophy of existence. And he comes from a very complicated German philosophy, which is phenomenology. But I'm not going to explain to you right now. He said. So one of the things is that, the kind of people press started to pull some elements from his very thick and dense works into the popular press by giving, bits here and bits there. So basically, they started to build a whole thing out of existentialism.
Sartre himself didn't exactly discourage the kind of fashionable image that was growing up around him. He wrote lyrics for the singer Juliette Greco and was often seen in the company of other glamorous women in a way that attracted media attention.
I asked him one day, but if you weren't a teacher and a philosopher, what would you like? What would you have been? I said, chanteur de charme.
But as well as being fascinated by Sartre's lifestyle, the media was also scandalized by his atheist ideas. The mainstream press attacked him continuously, accusing him of moral corruption and of spreading hopelessness among the young.
Sartre tries to rebuild the idea of freedom taken out of the Christian culture and to get rid of the power of God on human life. And so he comes to the conclusion that if God exists, man is not free, and if man is free, God does not exist.
I am my liberty. You had scarcely created me when I stopped belonging to you. Nature jumped backwards. I was ageless and felt quite alone in the middle of your well-meaning world, like a man who's lost his shadow. There was nothing left in heaven, neither good nor evil, nor anyone to give me orders. For I am a man, and each man must find his own way. You can neither punish me nor reprimand me, and that's why I make you afraid.
He says there is no God. Well, more than half the world is against him. That's how he's bad. That's how he's nasty. That's why he shouldn't be read. That's why he should be burnt.